Okay, it is time for a declutter video. This is one that I've been putting off a little bit. I'm not super excited to do it, to be honest with you, but I need to do it, especially before we head into 2025. As you can see, my lip gloss lip oil collection has gotten a little bit out of hand. I feel like every brand, especially drugstore brands over the last year, have launched their version of a lip oil or a lip oil lip gloss hybrid. And every time they launch something like that and they describe it, I'm like, that sounds like the best thing ever. I can't wait to try it. And honestly, there are so many good options, which is why I still have so many of them in my collection. I haven't felt the need to declutter them as I go because they're great and I love them. But my collection is just too big at this point. So I have a couple of goals with this video. I want to get rid of some older lip products that I've had in here for a very long time. And then the thing about lip oils or sheer glosses is a lot of them end up looking very similar on the lips. So with certain collections like Milani or CoverGirl, I've purchased quite a few of them. And in the end, so many of them look really close. So I need to narrow those down a little bit too. My Click Up Glossy Sticks collection has gotten, again, out of hand because every brand is launching this type of product. So I need to narrow that down a little bit as well. And I'm just going to go through and kind of curate a little bit. I'm not looking to buy a ton of new products in 2025 and fill this back up again. I actually want to try like a new lip product every day for probably like the first 3 months of the year and see if I can rediscover some older favorites and just kind of enjoy what I have again. So I figured I would get it organized before we head into 2025. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Okay, let's start with a few products I know I can get rid of. I am going to declutter these Profusion lip oils. This was actually one of the first lip oil formulas I ever tried from the drugstore, and it's a very thin, super oily lip oil. So if you like something like that, you might like these. They're very inexpensive. A couple of things that I don't love, they do end up leaking. And I don't know if that was always the case. I think I ended up repurchasing these at some point over the last few years, so I don't think this is the original formula I had, but they do leak, they make a mess, and I think I like a different type of formula these days, something a little thicker that's longer lasting. So they were great for such a long time, but I don't think they're the best option out there any longer. I'm also going to declutter these hard candy lip oils. So these are a little bit of a newer launch. They came out a few months ago. They are called the Glosstopia Slide Creamy Lip Oil. So hard candy has an original lip oil, which is completely sheer or completely clear. And then a few months ago, they came out with these, which have more pigment to them. So if you do like a pigmented lip oil, I actually think you would really enjoy these. They're very comfortable, very slippery. They don't have any sort of stickiness or tackiness on the lips. My issue with a super pigmented lip oil is that it ends up moving around and it looks kind of messy, at least on me. I have a light nude, and this lighter pink shade is one that I did wear a little bit. I don't know where the lighter nude is, but I will keep that one. I just don't end up reaching for the red and the purple or the red and the berry very often because they're just a little bit too dark for me. I am going to declutter these as well. So they originally came out with a full line of clear lip oils, and they just had a little bit of a weird taste and scent. So I didn't end up loving them. And then they did a Girl Scouts collab, and these smell a lot better. They're somewhat similar to Profusion in that they have like that very thin, super slippery, oily feel. And if that's the type of lip oil you tend to go for, you would probably really enjoy those, but I usually like something slightly thicker these days. Okay, I know that I can get rid of these e.l.f. glosses as well. These are pretty old, the Cookies and Dreams lip glosses. I feel like the formula has started to separate a little bit. It's probably one of the oldest formulas I currently have in my collection. They did recently update their gloss line, and I did purchase one, and I really like it. This is their Lip Plumping Gloss. The shade is Praline. It's so pretty. Very smooth. There's like a slight tackiness, so I find that they last on the lips pretty well. Let's actually just stick with this section. This is the NYX This Is Juice Gloss. So I have Passion Fruit Snatch on the left, and then the red one is Pomegranate Clout. Let me just swatch these next to each other. Here's what they look like. This one is basically clear, but it has like a hint of coolness to it. So I feel like it's just kind of nice on top of lipstick. And then this one has a little bit of like a strawberry color to it, but very pretty, really smooth. They kind of have like that lip oil, lip gloss hybrid feel to them where they're like a mix of the two formulas. I do have two glosses from Flower Beauty. These are different than I thought they were going to be. They're called what are they called? The Gloss Crush Lip Serums. This one is Honey Crush, and then this one is Bronze Crush. I don't know, like on the lips, they don't look incredibly glossy. They don't feel really moisturizing. They don't really last that long. They're basically like just an underwhelming formula. They're okay, but I really wouldn't recommend running out and buying them when there are so many good options out there. And I really don't end up reaching for them because I do have a lot of formulas I like better. So I am going to declutter these. I have two of the Essence Extreme Shine Volume Lip Glosses. I kind of changed my mind about these. When I first tried them, I wasn't sold on them. I thought they looked good on the lips, but I almost think they had like a strong scent or a strong taste. I ended up buying them again, and I didn't feel like that was the same case. So I don't know if they reformulated them. Right now, I just have the clear one, and then I also have Summer Punch, which is pretty sheer, but you get like a touch of pink. So I am going to keep these. I think they're really nice. Some of these sections are kind of organized by brand or formula, and then some are a little bit random. So I think this consists of like some of my sheer drugstore glosses. So I do have this one from e.l.f. It was part of the, oh, they did that collab with, why am I blanking? Jennifer Coolidge. This is really pretty. It's basically like a baby pink. It looks super sheer on the lips, but there's like a touch of color. It's a really, really pretty formula. Pretty similar to their Plumping Gloss formula, if not the same. I have the clear e.l.f. lip lacquer. I think I'm going to declutter this one. I don't wear a ton of like just completely clear lip gloss because there are so many formulas that are like basically clear with a hint of color, kind of like this one from NYX. I'd rather go with that. So I'll declutter that one. And then I'm actually going to move this to, I thought I had lip plumpers. I think they're over here. This is the Essence Juicy Bomb Gloss in the shade Watermelon Crush. I really like these because they're so tiny, so they actually fit inside like my wallet or my pocket. It also smells really good too. Like, look how pretty that looks. And I'm pretty sure these are like I think they're $2, maybe $3, but such a great option. I know they're tiny, so sometimes when you're looking at them online, you're like, is it actually worth the money? But if you're like me, you're probably not going to go through a full lip product anytime soon. So it's kind of nice to try or have some smaller options. So they also have these lip oils. These are the Juicy Bomb lip oils. The only thing that I don't love about these is the fact that the applicator is so tiny because it feels like you have to dip back in like 4 times to fully coat your lips. So I have Mandarin Miracle and Cherry Cheer. I haven't tried all of them. I think they have a couple more shades, but they basically look clear on the lips. So I would buy those based on the scent instead of the color. I also have this product from Essence. I am going to declutter this one. It's called I Got a Crush on Apricots. I don't love that shade on me. I wish I did. Like every time I go to wear it, I'm like, wow, that looks really good, but the shade just looks a little bit off. It's not super flattering for my skin tone. Another good formula if you like more of a pigmented gloss is this one from LA Girl, but I don't know. The only thing about this formula is I do feel like it expires kind of quickly because it does separate, and then I'll go to mix it back together, and then the next time it will be separated. And that might not bother you, honestly, but for me, it's kind of an indicator that the formula just isn't good because it didn't do that when I first got it. This is the shade Peach. I actually really like this shade. I would say that I would repurchase it, but I just feel like they go bad faster than other formulas in my collection. So these are from Catrice. They are the Marblelicious Liquid Lip Balms. So over here is the shade Swirl It, Don't Shake It. This is the shade Don't Be Shaky. This one right here is Don't Slurp So Loud. This one is Strawless Flawless. They look really pretty on the lips. I don't need to keep all of them. I'm going to declutter this berry one just because I don't love the glitter in it. And then this light pink one, just because it looks pretty similar to this. So I'll keep the middle too. This one from Essence is getting pretty old. I feel like I need to let it go. It's in the shade Milky Cocoa. I think it was, again, they had like a liquid lip balm line, kind of similar to that one from Catrice, but these had more pigment. Very smooth, very rich, really gorgeous on the lips. So I do like this line. This is just getting a little bit older. I love these. e.l.f. launched the Sun Boss glosses this year, and these are a great option because they actually have SPF 25. So on the left is Blush Much, and then on the right is It's Your Mauve or It's Your Mauve. I like that one the best. I think it looks so pretty on the lips because you can sheer it out or layer a little bit more up. If you're trying to protect your lips, you probably want to go in with a good amount of it. But please let me know, what are your favorite lip products that have sunscreen? Because that is something that I feel like I need to be more aware of. A couple of lip glosses from Mented. So I have the shades Mauve Over and Berry Me. These are nice if you don't want an overly glossy formula. They're not sticky at all, very, very lightweight. You can sheer them out. You can build them up to some extent, but for the most part, I feel like they end up looking pretty soft on the lips. I think I'm actually going to declutter these. They work perfectly fine, but I have so many, and I feel like I don't end up reaching for them as much as a few other formulas I like just a little bit better. Last thing in this section, I do have a few glosses from ColourPop. These are the Ultra Glossy Lips. These actually really impressed me. ColourPop and ended up redoing, I think, a lot of their lip line. I don't know if they just repackaged it or they came out with new shades. But years ago, when I ended up trying the ultra glossy lips for the first time, I found them a little bit underwhelming. And then I tried these on a whim and I actually love them. So on the left is Major Throwback, in the center is Pasadena, and then on the right is Hit Snooze. So again, pretty sheer overall. I'm going to declutter that center shade and keep the one on the left and the one on the right. I honestly haven't worn these since I tried the newer version of the ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lips. These are the So Glassy lip glosses. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I just feel like I like the other ones a lot. So when I'm reaching into my collection, I usually have a specific brand in mind or a specific formula I want, which is why I don't arrange my collection based on color. Whenever I do declutter videos, people are like, oh, you should rearrange them based on color family. I tried that for, I think, like an entire year, and it just didn't work for me. Since I review makeup, I feel like I know really well what I have in my collection. And I'm like, oh, today I want the NYX This Is Milky Gloss in Ube Milkshake, instead of thinking like, oh, I really want like a pink toned lip gloss today. So just rearranging them by brand honestly works better in my brain. And when I go in for a ColourPop gloss, I always go for one of the newer or one of the ultra glossy lips compared to those. I have 4 glosses from Revolution Beauty, 2 different formulas. So these are the Ceramide Lip Swirl lip glosses. I don't know if these are still available. They're not your typical lip gloss. They're almost more of like, I would say like a liquefied lip balm. So they don't have an overly shiny, overly glossy finish. They feel very light, very moisturizing, but kind of like a lip balm, just in liquid form. So you know what? I am going to declutter the pink one and keep this cooler toned one. Makeup Revolution, or I guess they're just going by Revolution Beauty these days, did come out with these Pout Bomb plumping glosses pretty recently, and these are gorgeous. So I have Wild Mauve Pink and then Espresso Cool Nude. You can tell the difference between the two formulas here. Like, look how glossy and shiny these two are compared to these two, which is why I can see why some people might consider the ones on the left kind of underwhelming, but these are so shiny, so pretty. They almost have like a slight tacky feel to them. Nothing too uncomfortable, but they definitely feel a little bit stickier than the lip balm formula. These are from Too Faced. These actually really surprised me. I feel like a lot of Too Faced products surprised me this year, although I don't know if I tried these this year or last year for the first time. They are the Kissing Jelly Glosses. I'm actually going to put one of these on. So these are what Too Faced describes as like a lip gloss, lip oil hybrid. They're so pretty. They smell so good. That is one thing Too Faced always does well. The raspberry one is probably my favorite. And then this one is sour watermelon. Okay, I skipped this section down here. So I have the e.l.f. Glow Reviver lip oils. I think at one point I had all of them. And honestly, I might be missing a few lip products because there's probably some like in my car, in my purse, all around my house. I feel like all of my favorite products just kind of make their way into random spots. But these are really nice. These really climbed their way up on my list. I think I say that every time I talk about them, but I feel like I have to preface them because I don't know if I gave them a bad review at one point or they just like weren't my favorite formula. But now when I say I love them, I usually get a comment like, oh, I thought you didn't like those. They're definitely one of my top lip oil formulas. I would say top 5. I need to film like an updated ranking because there are a lot of great ones, but these are a good formula, a good everyday formula. So here's Red Delicious, here's Coral Fixation, and here's Pink Quartz. They look basically identical. So they have very clear lip glosses, and then they have some that have a hint of color. This one on my lips, I feel like it does show up because I don't have super pigmented lips. So there's like a hint of color there, whereas the other two look the same. I would declutter one of them, but honestly, there's a chance that I'll probably lose one next time I bring it out because I swear I used to have more of them. Here's Rose Envy, and then here's Jam Session. You know what? I think I will declutter Rose Envy. That's probably the one I wear the least out of all of them. Again, because it is only like a light sheer hint of color, it's not like I really can say it's unflattering on my lips. It's just not my favorite out of all of them. And then I do have this one, which was limited edition. It was part of the Jelly Pop collection. So I felt like this formula was different than the originals. Like the original ones are very glowy, very shiny. And this one isn't quite as glossy or shiny on the lips, but I do think it's very flattering in a different way. I don't usually love full-on shimmery glosses. So I almost think a shimmery lip oil is just a toned down version of that, and I do like to wear it. Right next to that, I have the NYX Fat Oil Lip Drips, and again, I feel like I have a few more of these somewhere. This one is Splash of Cream, this one is Live in the Cream, and then this one is Lose Control. I'm going to declutter this one. This one is Missed Call, this one is Newsfeed, and this one is That Chic. That Chic is one of my favorites, but I actually have to declutter these two. I think these two did go bad on me, and I noticed that a little while ago. The formula just completely separated. I'm pretty sure I had these two in my car, which is not the most ideal place to store makeup because depending on the sunlight, the weather, like it gets hot and cold, the products just won't last as long as they will in like a cool, you know, temperature controlled environment. So I think that's what actually happened to these two. I was wearing this one so much, I just ended up leaving it in my car. So unfortunately, I have to declutter those. I have the Essence Hydra Kiss Lip Oils, which I love so much. I've talked about these a million times on my channel. Definitely one of my favorite formulas because it is a thicker, kind of luxurious feeling plush formula. These don't look a lot different on the lips. The orange one is slightly warm toned. This one has like a slight pink tint, but they all end up looking pretty sheer, really natural. So one of my top favorites for sure. And then another one of my top favorites, I know I'm calling everything my favorite, but these are really within my top 5, are the ColourPop So Juicy Plumping Glossy Lip Oils. I actually want to swatch all of these next to each other. So I have It's a Date, So Sassy, Baby Panda, and Trending Now. I am going to declutter Baby Panda. That's like this really pretty baby pink one. It really doesn't show up any different than the clear one. I mean, there's maybe like a slight hint of color, but I just don't think I need that one when I compare it to the other ones I have. Okay, same thing with Flirty Text. This is Flirty Text, and that always throws me off because it looks so red in the packaging, and then on the lips, it's basically clear. And then this one is Beverly Drive. I'm going to keep Flirty Text because I've actually worn this one a ton. And then I have a clear one that honestly, I don't know if I've ever worn or maybe worn once. So I'll pass the clear one along since this one basically looks clear on the lips. In this section over here, I do have a ton of the Milani Fruit Fetish lip oils. They have so many options at this point, and you really don't need all of them because a lot of them do end up looking somewhat similar. They all have different scents, so depending on the color and the scent, I might kind of take both into consideration when trying to decide which one to grab. First of all, I do have 2 of the strawberry melon ones. They're kind of 2 different colors, and I can't tell which one is older. I think this one's a little bit older just based on the packaging. I could be wrong, but I am going to declutter this one and keep this one. Okay, so I have strawberry melon, raspberry peach, cherry lime, and then luminoso. I am going to declutter this one. I think this one has also expired. You can tell, or maybe you can't, but it does look a little bit different in the packaging than the other formulas or than it's supposed to look like. This one is lychee nectar. This one is honey fig, blackberry agave, and then cocoa cacao. These are the ones that have slightly more pigment. They look a little bit more visible on my lips. I think I'm going to declutter honey fig. I don't think I wear that one very much. And then this last one is black cherry vanilla, which I am going to keep. So I decluttered 2 of them, not a ton, but I just don't really want to get rid of any more of those yet. So I do have 3 of the Lawless glosses. I think I have a few more. They are just not currently in my drawers, so I'm not sure where they are. But this is my favorite lip gloss formula of all time. This is Lavender Sorbet, Juicy Watermelon, and Maple Sugar. They just look so good on the lips. They make your lips look incredibly smooth, super full. They stay in place well. Like, I feel like they almost make it look like I got lip filler when I didn't. So it's not necessarily like your typical plumping gloss in that it feels like it actually burns or stings, but it does visibly plump up the lips because it makes them look so smooth and so shiny. So definitely one of my favorite formulas. This is the Colé, I always forget the official name, lip treatment oil. So I have 2. I have Smitten and then I have Excellence. This is a thicker kind of sticky feeling gloss, which I do really like. It's marketed as a lip oil treatment, so I feel like it could kind of throw you off if you're buying them online. Some people have said they've experienced like mold or discoloration in the bottom of theirs. That has never happened to me. I've had 3, and this one I've had for a while and there's no issues. So Personally, haven't experienced that, although I have read some reviews and some comments from some of you saying that you have. Do you have a couple of the Patrick Ta Major Volume Plumping Glosses? This used to be one of my go-to formulas, but I don't know. I find it a little bit underwhelming these days. I have this one and I have this one. Like, this is one that I wore a ton, as you can see. And then I got this set during the holiday season, and I just wasn't that impressed by them, to be honest. Like, the formula is good. It looks great. It feels nice. But for the price, I usually want like a little bit more. This one's superficial, full syringe, headliner, and main stage. I used to have a pink one too, but that one did expire, so I ended up getting rid of it probably a few months ago. Again, they look really, really good. I just feel like for the price, I don't know. When it comes to high-end lip gloss, I'm just always expecting a little bit more because they are so expensive and there are so many good drugstore options. I think I'm going to declutter these Kaja glosses. These are a little bit older. I don't think they're expired. I wouldn't say like the formula has separated. They look different on the lips. They don't sell them anymore, which sucks because it is so gorgeous. And they ended up coming out with a lip oil, and I do like the lip oil, but their gloss formula is still so good. Like, it looks incredibly juicy, so smooth on the lips. You know what? I'm just going to declutter the pink one, but I'm actually going to keep the purple one. I don't have another gloss like this in my collection, and sometimes when I'm wearing like a purple makeup look, I feel like I want this. I wonder if Lawless makes a purple gloss like this. I'll have to look. Although, like I said, I don't need to buy any lip gloss for a little while. I do have two Charlotte Tilbury glosses. They're good. They're really pretty on the lips. I just don't need them. I have so many other formulas I love, and I don't use them as often. I had a third one, which was in my car. I was wearing it kind of often, and then I gave it to one of my nieces. My nieces love lip gloss, and whenever I see them, if I have a lip gloss, I usually pass it to them because they always want to try them. Those are great. They really are, but I have to cut down somewhere, and because they're like at the bottom of my section, I just don't typically reach for them very much. Like I said, I have all of my Fenty glosses in this section. So let's see, let me just separate these. Okay, so these are the original ones, or the original formula. So I have Sweet Mouth, Ruby Milk. Is that what it's called? Why am I blanking? Some of these might be limited edition. This one is Riri, and then this one is Hot Chocolate. Oh, I'm so sad, but I think I have to get rid of Hot Chocolate. I've had this forever. It's probably one of the oldest glosses in my collection, and I can just tell it's not the same as it used to be. It's probably way overdue for me to declutter that one. I do have the Fenty Gloss Bomb Oil in Frosted Buns. This was limited edition, but I don't know. Every once in a while I check online and I see it. So I don't know if this shade is available or they're both available. There were two, but I actually love this formula. It looks so good on the lips. It's even shinier than the original formula, and it kind of has like some glitter mixed in. It's really flattering. So these are the creams. I have Peach Pout and Fenty Glow. This is so pretty, but I just don't wear it. I feel like that's not a shade that I typically go for. So I am going to declutter that one. And then apparently I have two Fenty Glows. Again, they look different. So I don't know. I think this one's older just based on how it looks in the tube, and it's kind of started to separate. So I feel like the color of this one has actually changed. So I'm going to declutter that and keep the other one. And then I'll swatch the heat glosses for you. So this one is Fenty Glow. This one is Hot Cherry, Lava Lemon, and Hot Chocolate. I think I will declutter Lava Lemon. It's really pretty. I just don't ever reach for that one. I feel like it's not, again, my preference. So I can declutter that one. Hot Chocolate has become my #1 favorite from the entire Fenty Gloss Bomb line. And I think it did replace the original Hot Chocolate. I think the Hot Chocolate Heat is just a little bit prettier on the lips because it is completely, like, it doesn't have any glitter in it. So it makes your lips look so like juicy and full and smooth. I need to go through all of the Click Up gloss sticks, but honestly, it's just going to take a minute. So, okay, they kind of spilled over into this section. I'm going to save those for the very end. That way, if you're not interested in those, you can just cut the video at the end, because it will probably take me a little while. So back here in this section, I have lip plumpers or plumping glosses. This is the Too Faced Lip Injection. It is very strong. I don't typically wear this just because it is kind of painful. And, you know, there are other formulas that I feel like give the plumped up look without the stinging, burning sensation. So I am going to declutter that one. I do have this Milani lip plumper. It's the Keep It Full Max Bombshell. It's fine, just nothing, you know, super special. I have other formulas again. When it comes to a plumping formula, like if I want to use something to plump up my lips and then take it off and go in with an actual lip product, this is what I use. It's from City Lips. They do have shades that have color, but I have the clear one, and the clear one works great. It doesn't give you that strong burning sensation, but I feel like it does still work to plump up the lips. Buxom does have a lip plumper as well. So they have a clear, and then they actually came out, I don't know if they have a full line, but they do have some that have color to them. I don't find this formula as effective as City Lips. I don't feel like I need to have multiple lip plumpers in my collection unless they're plumping glosses. So my mom loves Buxom. I'm going to pass these products along to her and see if she wants them. I do like just the actual Buxom glosses. I think they are super pretty. I wish they had a little bit of a bigger applicator just because that's what I prefer these days, but that totally comes down to personal preference. So I have Clear and I have White Russian. Honestly, they smell a little bit different and they don't smell terrible, but they don't smell like the original ones. So I do think those have gone bad. I mean, they looked a little bit separated in the tube, so I wasn't sure if I mixed them back together, if they would stay. I'm going to declutter Seychelles Breeze as well. And then I actually know this mini Brook is older than the other ones. Okay, so sadly, I think it's time to get rid of those. This one is the Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper, and I have the shade Luminoso. So I'm going to keep this one, especially because I did declutter that other Milani Plumping Gloss. This is really pretty on the lips. It has like that very smooth effect. It's pretty sheer overall, but I am going to hang on to this one. So, okay, wow, I really cleared out my plumping gloss section, I guess. I knew those Buxom glosses were getting a little bit older, but again, I just try not to really mess around. If anything changes from like the scent to the texture to the color, it's time to get rid of it. So these are from Say. They basically look clear on the lips. They kind of have like a balmy feel to them. So almost like a liquid lip balm texture. I have a nude one, which I don't know where that is, but I bought these as a holiday set because I liked the original one so much. I know I have some older Tower 28 glosses, to be honest. I actually thought about getting rid of them earlier this year. The labels are different. I actually think it's these two, the ones that have the orangey red labels. And then I think these are the newer ones because I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I got these in a set. I take back whatever I said. I think these are the oldest lip glosses in my collection. So I am going to declutter these. This one actually looks like it changed color a little bit too. I don't know if you can tell on camera. I can't even get it open. I don't know why. It's like, it's sealed so tight. I cannot get it open. So to be on the safe side, I'm going to declutter Cashew as well. But the other three look okay. So let me swatch these. I have pistachio, almond, and sesame. Pistachio, almond, sesame, and cashew. I'm going to hang on to those four. Was this one cashew? Okay, apparently I had two cashews. Yeah, and now looking at them side by side, this one definitely changed. It's interesting because with some of these formulas, if I didn't have two of the exact same shades, I wouldn't even know that the formula changed. But then looking at it side by side with another one of like the exact same colors, you can really tell. These are nice. They're super comfortable. They feel more like a lip oil to me, even though Tower 28 calls them a lip gloss. But that's why I kind of have them in like this hybrid drawer because they could really go either way. I have a couple of these, but there's only one in my drawer right now. It is the Milk Makeup Odyssey Lip Gloss Oil, and this one's in the shade Voyage. It's like this cool toned berry, super pretty over lipstick just because it completely cools the color down. So I love using that one. I feel like that formula is pretty much the same as the Tower 28 formula. What else? The only other things I have in here, oh, these Rare Beauty, what are these called? I'm completely blanking on the name. They're the Rare Beauty Gloss Balm. So again, basically like a liquefied lip balm. So I have two of the shade Nearly Neutral because for a little while, this was my favorite lip product of all time. And I thought I lost it, so I ended up repurchasing it. This one is Nearly Neutral, this one is Nearly Apricot, and this one is Nearly Berry. I am going to keep these. They're just like very easy everyday lip colors. I'm going to go through these CoverGirl Yummy glosses. I do think I could cut this section down a little bit. So when I was really loving this formula and I was purchasing apparently so many new shades, I don't think I realized a lot of them end up looking so similar on the lips until it got to the point where I was like, oh, I feel like I already have that in my collection. So let's swatch these next to each other. So this shade is Lavender. This one is Flamingo Pink. This one is Peach Out. This one is Sunset Skies, and then on the one on the end is Moonlight Eclipse. So, I mean, you can even tell. Just let me hold these up next to each other. This is what they look like in the tubes, and then this is what they look like on my hand. So as you can tell, they're incredibly sheer, and I think that's why it really threw me off when I was buying them, because I thought they were going to be so different. Like, who knew this purple one would basically, I mean, it doesn't look identical to those, but it doesn't look that much different than the darker ones. I'm going to declutter this purple one, which basically looks clear. I'm going to keep Glamingo Pink because that one does have like a tiny bit of pink to it. And then I'm going to keep the peach one because that just smells good. These really don't look that different. I'll keep Moonlight Eclipse and then declutter Sunset Skies. Okay, so My Straw Booty, You're Just Jelly, and then Acai You Later. Honestly, they're all pretty close. I think I'll keep You're Just Jelly and then declutter the other two. Okay, I actually have to take a break. I have a few appointments to go to. So when I come back, I'll do these two sections, and then this section. I still have a lot to go through. I feel like this is a very, very long video, but look at my pile of decluttered products so far. It's already full, so I feel like I'm making really good progress. Okay, it's another day. I already edited the first part of this video and it's getting pretty long, so let's try to speed through the last few products. So I have some shades from the NYX This Is Milky Gloss line. I absolutely love this formula. I've talked about it a lot on my channel. It's a very smooth formula, incredibly moisturizing, but these are great if you like a little bit more pigment when it comes to a gloss. Okay, so let me swatch these next to each other. I will say I'm pretty sure that I have, where'd it go? Yeah, I have two of this one. This is Choco Latte Shake. They look completely different. Like one is very pink toned or a little bit more pink toned, and then one is a little bit more brown. I hate when I have two of the same because I can't tell which one's older. I think it's this one just because it looks like I've used a little bit more of that. So I am going to declutter that one and then swatch the other ones for you. So this one is Milk and Honey. This one is Cookies and Milk. And then this one is Choco Latte Shake. But look how shiny they are. They really look so good on the lips. I feel like they look very similar to the Lawless glosses, but they're a lot less expensive. This one is Milk the Cocoa. This one is Ube Milkshake. And then I found the red one. This one is Cherry Milkshake. Actually, Ube Milkshake might be pretty similar to that Kaja gloss. On the bottom is Kaja, on the top is NYX. I like the NYX one better. I like how it's more even. I like the tone of it a little bit better. So I do think I can actually declutter the Kaja one now that I'm seeing them next to each other. They're not identical, but I would probably wear them in place of each other. So I'm going to hang on to all of those. That's probably my #1 favorite drugstore gloss formula. So this was part of the Heather Austin Unearthly collab. It's such a gorgeous color. It's in the shade Omen. It has like this really beautiful kind of like golden pink glitter mixed in. So it looks amazing on top of really any lipstick if you want to give it like an extra boost or kind of transform it. I used to love this formula so much. This is pretty old, so I am going to declutter this. I ended up decluttering the other ones I had just because they had gotten old, but it's the Beauty Pie Wondergloss Collagen Lip Oil. So this is the shade Sun Hazed. It's very thin, so comfortable. The clear one, or they had one that was kind of pearly, was like my go-to. I actually ended up using it up fully pretty much, and I never use up lip products fully, but I would use it every morning before I did my makeup, and it was so great at just leaving my lips feeling really soft, very, very smooth. These are from the brand Into You. Such a gorgeous formula. So these just go in order. Like on the left is 1, then this one is 2, 3, 4, and 5. So here's what they look like. They just have this gorgeous, beautiful, glossy, smooth finish. I feel like a lot of my descriptions when it comes to lip gloss are very, very similar, but there are only so many ways you can describe a lip gloss. These feel a little bit thicker, but not sticky. So very, very moisturizing, which is nice. I think I'll keep 3, 4, and 5. And then I'll declutter 1 and 2. Those are probably a little bit brighter than I typically go. These are my Typology lip oils. It has an oily feel to it, but it's not super thin or incredibly runny. Like it just has that incredibly nourishing feel. The swatches, I mean, they look maybe just like any other lip oil out there, but this is a very conditioning formula that just feels so good. I mean, you can wear it any time of the year, but I especially love it during the fall and the winter. I tried it a few years ago during the fall. Was it last year? I think it was the year before. And no, I tried it in the summer, but I ended up falling in love with it during the fall and winter because I felt an actual difference on my lips when I wore it. So definitely hanging on to these. I am going to declutter this one. This one I think expired. You can tell that it's separated really badly. And again, you can go to mix it back up, but it just stays that way. So this is from the brand Province Beauty. There weren't a lot of lip oils that were very similar to this in tone that I could find. So I liked the color a lot, but it's older, it's expired at this point, so I need to get rid of it. Okay, back here, I have the rest of my lip oils. So let me just pull all of these out and stick them right here. I don't know why Essence discontinued this. I'm still hoping they come out with like an entire line of these. This is the cranberry lip oil. It looks so beautiful on the lips. I think I bought it and then it was discontinued pretty soon afterwards. It basically goes on kind of clear, but then it tints your lips. It's kind of like a lip oil stain, and I feel like you are left with a little bit of a pink stain, but it's so flattering, so gorgeous on the lips. This one is from LA Girl. It's just called their lip oil, I guess. And this one is in Shimmer Coconut. It's basically a clear with some glitter shimmer. It's a very basic formula, but I do love it. It smells really good. It looks pretty on the lips. I just talked about these recently, and I can't remember if they're still available or not, but these are from Catrice. They are the Powerful 5 Glossy Lip Oils. I think that Catrice came out with these a while ago, like back before lip oils were even really super trendy. They feel nice on the lips. They have like that nourishing feel. I mean, honestly, they don't feel a lot different than the newer Catrice lip oil formula. I'm going to keep these even if they're not around anymore. I do love the way they feel and look, but I know these are available. I think these came out last year. I don't know exactly when, but these are the Glossin Glow Tinted Lip Oils. These feel so good. They're a little bit thicker. They have like that plush feel to them. So if you like something that feels like extra luxurious on the lips, these are a great option. So they do look different. The orange one and the yellow one are basically clear and they don't tint your lips. They don't change colors. So if you're looking for just like a clear lip oil, those are the way to go. I'm going to keep the orange one and then declutter the yellow one because they look pretty much identical. These three do tint your lips and they actually stain. They leave a pretty strong stain behind. So this is the most subtle out of the three. The pink and the red one end up looking kind of similar, but the red one almost looks pink on the lips. But I do find that these are really convenient, especially during the summer when I don't want like a super heavy product, because you get the glossy finish and then you do get a little bit of that stain left behind. And then these two are from Ulta Beauty. So Ulta Beauty actually recently redid their line. I did purchase two of the juice infused lip oils over Black Friday to see if they were different or if they were the same. I haven't tested them yet. I have them sitting in like a tray of products I want to test on camera. So I'm going to try them out. I was actually really sad when they redid their line because some of my favorite products are from the Ulta Beauty line. I think one of you told me that you're either a manager at Ulta or you work at Ulta and you said just the packaging changed. So that's actually good news. Okay, I think that is everything except for the Click Up Glossy Sticks. So we'll kind of fly through these. I'll talk about the different formulas, do some swatches for you in case you're interested in them, and I'll probably end up decluttering some of them. I just feel like this section has gotten a little bit out of hand because every brand is launching their version of this. So I do have two of the plumping lip oils. I actually have a third one. I know it's upstairs because I just brought it with me when I was out yesterday to kind of throw on the go. And it's the perfect formula to reapply throughout the day because it is so comfortable and it gives just a hint of color. So this shade is cinnamon and this one is honeysuckle. They look pretty underwhelming when you swatch them on the hand, but on my lips, they look a little bit more vibrant. Like they're not super intense, really colorful. I think online, the swatches look a lot more intense than they actually are in person, but on the lips, I feel like I get a little bit more than what I'm getting on the hand. I am going to keep those. I only have one of the lip vinyls. This one is in the shade Spiced Pink. That's a little bit of like a blended out swatch because that's the way I would wear it. The lip vinyls have the most pigment out of all of their formulas, so you can really layer that up if you want it to look a little bit more intense. So honestly, I don't think there's a big difference between the plumping version of the Maracuja Juicy Lips and then the regular version. These do have like a little bit of a tingle when you apply them to the lips, but I don't think the actual formula feels any different or they look any different on the lips. I think it just kind of depends on what shade you want. So they do have different options within the plumping line and the original line. So I'll swatch the 5 plumping glosses I have next to each other. This one is Rose Quartz Shimmer Glass, and this one is Buffed Rose. I am going to keep both of those. I love them. I actually went to swatch this one, White Peach, and it seems like the clicker is broken or I used it up. I did wear this one a good amount, but I think the actual clicker just broke. I don't have the stickers on these. They fell off, so I don't even know what shade these are. I almost think this is Rose because they include rose in like a ton of different sets, and I think I had that shade. So I'm going to go with Rose, but I can't say for sure, and I think this one was Black Cherry. I used to have a coral one too, which I don't see in here. I'm pretty sure I still have that somewhere, but anyway, I'm going to keep those shades. Here's the coral one. This one is Poppy, which is one of my favorites. I wore that one a lot during the spring and the summer. Okay, so these are just the original Maracuja Juicy Lips. This one did not have a sticker, unfortunately. This one is Orchid, Ginger, Rose, and Wild Berry. So I don't know. After swatching these, I guess they do feel a little bit different than the plumping version, which is weird because I could have sworn they were the same. I have had these for a long time, so I don't know if the formula changed or if they are a little bit different. They have slightly more pigment and they're a little bit thicker than the plumping ones. And I don't know. Again, it could come down to the actual shades. If you have both formulas, what do you think? Is there a difference? I swear I used to think they were the exact same. So I am going to declutter this one, the one that doesn't have a sticker on it, just because that one's a little bit darker than I would typically go. And it's pretty close to this one, so I feel like I don't need both. And then I think I'll declutter Orchid as well because it's pretty close to Rose. So NYX came out with the Slick Click Fat Oils. This is a really good formula. I don't have anything against it. I mean, there are so many drugstore. Oh, I just realized I think the e.l.f. ones are missing from my drawer. I actually don't know where those would be. I think I pulled some products for, I'm doing like my end of the year wrap up video, so that might be in a different section in my room. But anyway, I would say out of all of the drugstore versions, this isn't like my absolute favorite, but I do think it comes down to the shades I picked up. So I have Going Viral, which is the lighter one, and then Trending Topic. Trending Topic, I feel like would probably look pretty good over like a lipstick, but I don't know. I have so many Click Up Glossy sticks, and I just feel like because I can't possibly wear all of them regularly, I'm going to declutter those just because they're not the shades I end up loving. From time to time, I'm like, should I pick up a new shade and see if I like those better? But again, I just have enough, so that's probably why I haven't at this point. These are from Catrice. I just did my worst products of 2024 video. And these were on my list. I just find them very underwhelming. Like I said, at this point, there are so many options that I feel like you don't have to settle for like a mediocre formula. This shade has absolutely no pigment, which might be fine. It's not supposed to be like that though, because on Lime, the swatch is a lot more vibrant. That one is in the shade Secret. This one is in the shade Lost at Sea. And I feel like the actual clicker gets stuck a little bit. This one looks a little bit better, but they're very balmy. That's the way I describe them, which might be a pro for you if you don't want something super thick and glossy. But they're just, like I said, they're underwhelming. So it's finally time to be done with those. Ooh, my bin of decluttered products is starting to overflow. In that video, I'm pretty sure I said if you want a balmy option that's a little bit better, I would recommend the Flower Beauty formula. These have been around for a while. These are their Plump Up Gloss Sticks. They're not quite as thick as like the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips, and they're not overly glossy. These definitely have like a thinner, balmy feel to them, so they're very comfortable. And if you are looking for more of a balmy option, I would recommend picking these up over Catrice. This one is spicy, this one is sizzle, toasty, fiery, and heated. I'm not planning on decluttering any of these. I like to have them on hand. They're really comfortable, and because they are a little bit different than the other formulas out there, I feel like I reach for them on a different occasion than a lot of the other options. Oh, actually, they have a clear one as well. I think I'll declutter the clear one. I just don't wear a lot of clear lip products, so I don't think I need to keep that one on hand. And I did leave out a Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip. So this one's in the shade Coconut. I'll swatch that. Here's Coconut. You know what? It's pretty similar to, I think it was the shade Ginger. So I think I will declutter that one as well. Okay, these are from ColourPop. They are the So Juicy, why do I always forget the exact name? Plumping Gloss Balms. One thing that I hate about these is that they get so messy, and that could possibly be the case with the rest of the formulas, but you can't see them because the caps are not clear. Because these have clear caps, like you can see just how messy these get, which that's just like a pet peeve of mine. Other than that, the formula is so good. I almost think these are the most similar to the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips, specifically the plumping version, now that I'm kind of re-swatching everything. So if you're looking for like an actual dupe, I would say these are the closest. This one is Vacay Mode, this one is Dough, this one is Guava Glaze, and this one is Dolled Up. So just a couple swatches of the first four. And then I have two more. Then this one is PSL and this one is Berry Spritz. I'm actually not going to declutter any of those. I'm not really doing that great of a job cutting down on these glossy sticks because I don't know, I just like all of the formulas for different reasons. That's probably my #1 favorite formula though, out of all of them, like high end or drugstore. I just think those are the most comfortable. They're so glossy, so pretty. They do have a little bit of a peppermint scent, which isn't my favorite, but I feel like I can overlook it because they just look so good on the lips. Okay, the last formula I have is this one from Hourglass. I do really like the way these look. These are very thin, but incredibly glossy. Like it looks like you applied a typical gloss to the lips. They're pretty expensive, and honestly, like I said, the ColourPop ones are my favorite, so I don't think you necessarily need to run out and buy these. I just think they do give your lips like a very wet looking shine. This one is Thrill, this one is Desire, and this one is Trace. Those are pretty bad swatches, but they're a little bit more, like when I swatch them, they look very sheer. On the lips, I don't know, they look a little bit more intense on the lips. And that's going to come down to what your lips look like, if they're pigmented, if they're not. My lips are not pigmented at all. So I feel like most products end up appearing a little bit more vibrant on me. I do like that formula, but again, I don't think you need to run out and buy it. In 2025, I'm cutting back on buying just overpriced makeup. I love drugstore makeup. I like high-end makeup. I don't really get into a lot of luxury brands just because when it comes down to it, the packaging, the aesthetic, it doesn't matter that much to me. As long as it's functional, I'm happy. And it is nice to have like very beautiful products. Like these are a little bit weighted. They feel nice. They look nice. But the actual formula is very, very similar in quality to like products that are a third or half the price. Anyway, I think I'm done. So this was a pretty long video. I don't know if you're still here, but let me count everything and I'll share my final tally of everything that I decluttered and everything I kept. Okay, so I started off with 200 lip oils and lip glosses. I ended up decluttering 75 and keeping 125. So I actually decluttered about 40%, which weirdly, that's how it always works out. Like I feel like no matter what category I end up decluttering, it always comes out to be about 40%. I honestly didn't expect to get rid of that many products just because I thought I loved every single thing in here. And I did love most of the products for the most part, but honestly, this is just better. I probably will reorganize just a little bit, but here's what my collection looked like before, and then here's what it looks like afterwards. So I have a little bit more space in here. Things are a little more spread out, which is nice. So these are all of the products I decluttered, which I am really happy with. I definitely had some older formulas in here, so it was time for those to go. And then a couple of formulas that are nice, but not my favorite that maybe someone else can enjoy. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I just did a declutter video not too long ago on my eyeshadow palettes. I'll link it below if you want to check it out, and on the screen, as well as the rest of my declutter videos if you are into those. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye.